The so-called ceasefire, which Donald Trump paraded like a trophy, has collapsed into chaos and bloodshed. Israeli jets are back over Gaza skies, pounding a population that has already lost everything. The sound of bombs once again echoing through ruins that never had the chance to rebuild.
People across the region and around the world have been working, striving, hoping, and praying for. They have done things over the last month that I think were really unthinkable. Nobody thought this could happen. With the historic agreement we've just signed, those prayers of millions have finally been answered. As you know, the hostages have been returned.
The Gaza Center for Human Rights has now confirmed what everyone feared, that Israel violated the agreement 36 times since it supposedly took effect at noon on October 10th. Airstrikes, artillery fire and sniper rounds tearing through civilian areas like Shuja'iyya, Jabalia and Rafah. 5 civilians slaughtered as they inspected what used to be their homes. 7 Palestinians dead and dozens injured. This is not a ceasefire. It's a slaughter dressed up as restraint. The center said the victims posed no threat. They were simply there, living, breathing, existing. And for Netanyahu's genocidal regime, that is enough reason to bomb them again. UNICEF reports that the houses they're returning to no longer exist.
I'm in Sheikh Radwan, a neighbourhood of Gaza City that used to be a bustling residential area. Houses, apartments behind me, street after street after street. But now it's just rubble. 9 out of 10 homes in the Gaza Strip have been damaged or destroyed. What that means is families across the Gaza Strip are coming back to the likes of this. A skeleton of a city, a shell of a building, and trying to make sense of how they move forward in that environment. Mothers, fathers are telling me that they're waiting for a tent to set up on the rubble. They're waiting for construction materials so they can begin repairs, or they're waiting for water to come.
What this proves beyond doubt is that the ceasefire never protected the indigenous people of Gaza. It was a smokescreen, another diplomatic lie to buy Israel time to reload. Netanyahu's criminal regime murders civilians and blames Palestinians for existing. The Zionist machinery kills with impunity while pretending to defend itself. And yet this time something different happened. Gaza's defenders, tired of being slaughtered and framed, turned their anger inward to root out the Zionist moles and collaborators planted inside their land. The resistance struck fast and surgically, targeting the remnants of Israel's divide and rule chaos cells, operating under the shadow of Mossad's dirty network. As the smoke cleared, survivors told British media that Israeli war crimes continued in the shadows.
This is very unfortunate. This is what I want to see as a Palestinian. I don't wish to see Hamas or any other Palestinian faction killing other people, even if they were collaborators. This is my personal opinion. I don't like to see Hamas or any person shooting someone in the street in front of other people. I see this as an unacceptable thing. But Mark, one important thing, Israel is very interested in seeing Hamas doing this. Israel has made sure that there's no order in Gaza. When the Hamas police in Gaza tried to organize the aid trucks, they were killing them. Israel destroyed all the infrastructure in Gaza, whether it's civilian, whether it's educational, anything. So Israel made chaos in Gaza. And unfortunately, this is the result of Israel's destruction of all things. So there is no order in Gaza because Israel has created this hell.
Yeah, let me just finish with this, because I was reading your New Yorker article about you leaving Gaza. And at one point you wrote this: "It's true that there are many things to criticize Palestinians for. We're divided, we suffer from corruption, many of our leaders do not represent us, some people are violent, but in the end we Palestinians share at least one thing with Israelis. We must have our own country or live together in one country in which Palestinians have full and equal rights." My last question is, do you think that will happen in the near future or at all in the future?
Mark, it's important to remind everyone that I wrote this article in December 2023, so about 2 years ago. And in fact, this is what I want to live. I want to live in peace, but in freedom and dignity, equality for everyone. I don't care whether it's Israelis, Americans. I treat everyone as equal. But when these people, the Israelis, most of them, are okay with the genocide that have been unfolding again in Gaza. Mark, I'm not talking about Palestine. I'm talking about myself. I am the story. My father-in-law was killed in an airstrike in August, 2 months ago, while he was trying to get aid from the Zakim aid crossing. So I really wish to live in peace, but this peace should be shared by everyone. This feeling of equality, of peace, of dignity should be shared. I don't see this, in the Israeli streets. And unfortunately, I see the media portraying Palestinians as if they are being killed by someone. They don't name the aggressor. So these people, the 45 people, they are not deceased Palestinians. Where is the word Israel? Who killed these people? Whose tanks ran over these bodies? I wish to see peace,
Moab, we're going to
not
have to
only
leave it.
in the Holy Land, but also by the media. I wish they named the aggressor, the killer.
And then came journalist Max Blumenthal, his words sharp and unflinching, calling the Trump-brokered ceasefire exactly what it is, a scam, a diplomatic illusion meant to shield Israel from accountability while it reloads for the next round of slaughter.
In fact, it was through Miriam Adelson's money that Donald Trump was bribed to relocate the U.S. embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, which was an extremely provocative move that I think actually was a factor in October 7th, because it puts more pressure on the Palestinians of East Jerusalem. It invalidates a Palestinian state with a capital in East Jerusalem, and it puts more pressure on the Al-Aqsa compound, which is being constantly invaded by fanatical Israeli messianic religious nationalists, including Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir. So Donald Trump does all that. He admits that it was because he was bribed. And then he says that Miriam Adelson he asked her, which country do you love more, America or Israel? And she didn't answer, and he knows it was Israel. So he acknowledges that he was basically bribed by an Israel-first billionaire to wage political warfare on Palestinians and on the region on behalf of her country. Is this someone who is actually going to apply leverage to Israel to enforce a ceasefire that Israel is already, in just about 72 hours, violated in flagrantly provocative ways? I don't think so. So where is the counter pressure from Turkey, for example, from the Arabs who showed up at Sharm el-Sheikh? The United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia didn't go, or they didn't send leading figures. They just sent like lower level officials. I'm not seeing it. So again, I think this was an exercise in propaganda for Trump to complement a ceasefire, which is not peace. It is merely a pause.
Max, one of the things that has happened during the talks, during the negotiations between the United States and Arab states, we see 4 Qatari negotiators were somehow they passed away. I don't know what was the reason of that, and what do we know about that?
Well, I'll tell you the reason. We've been able to get an investigative team on the ground in Egypt, and they've been able to comb the country and question officials, and we know the answer. Actually, they just fell off a balcony, so I can't tell you. That's what I was told. Our team just fell off a balcony. I'm joking, obviously. It's impossible to know what's happening in Egypt. I mean, it's one of the most difficult places in the region for a journalist to operate. So I would have no way of knowing. This team of, I don't know if they were diplomats or security officials. I heard they were security officials. The official story is that their steering column broke in a Mercedes. It was like a Mercedes Sprinter, I think. This is a pretty well-built vehicle. So I'm not accepting the official story. And I mean, just think of all the times we've heard of activists and dissidents who fall off balconies in Egypt. It just happens again and again. It's like it's like gallows humor among Egyptians. Oh, he fell off the balcony. So no one can accept the official story. We have the background of Israel attempting to assassinate the Qatari negotiating team, which actually is one of the things that triggered Trump to make the one phone call, the only phone call that was needed to actually get to a ceasefire, something Biden refused to do.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe to support my work. God bless you.